What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Hot Rods and Dad Bods. My name is Keith, and today we're gonna pull this old girl out of the garage. We're getting down to the winter here in Pittsburgh. The weather is starting to change, and we got a really nice day today. It's gonna be about 60 degrees, and I'd like to get some work done around the garage and some things, prepped for winter. So unfortunately, I have left the garage open a couple nights, and it looks as if our outdoor cat found his way into the Corvette a couple times, so it's covered in paw prints, so I'd like to clean that. And then I picked up this old toolbox at a farm auction, and I want to get all my tools moved over into that toolbox and clean up the garage. I got a mess in there from, I just did head gaskets on my truck and a bunch of repairs I've done recently, and I haven't cleaned up after myself. So it's time to do a little spring cleaning in the fall, I guess we'll call it. And let's get the Corvette pulled out, and then I'll show you that old toolbox I picked up. I'll say this, probably my most reliable car in the fleet. Starts up every single time, usually a half a pump of the gas, and she's good to go. So, but she's filthy, and like I said, our outdoor friend has been leaving some paw prints on it and jumping inside. We got some marks on the doors here, on the seat. So I'm gonna give it a bath, and I'm gonna take it for a ride. Why not? It's a beautiful fall day here in Pittsburgh. She deserves a little ride. She's just an old 350 with some Vortec heads on it, a dual plane, a Holly, and nothing crazy. Stock cam, stock LED 2 cam. Runs great. Like I said, probably one of my most reliable cars. So like I said, my workshop here in the garage is a complete disaster. I did my head gaskets on my truck, and I use this table, and it's covered in tools. My other workbench over here is covered in tools. This workbench over here is covered in tools, and it's got valves and springs and shit like that for my racing heads. It's a hot mess in here, so I really need to clean it up. But this is the toolbox that I picked up at the farm auction. And back up here so you can get a good look at it. I love it. There we go. I love it. I think that it's a very cool box. It's a REM line. I never heard of that before, from Chicago. But my buddy told me he believes this is what they would consider a machinist's toolbox, which I'm fine. I don't give a shit. I love these the little guys on each one of the handles. So, but definitely a cool box. I cleaned it all up the other day. I oiled up all the tracks, so they're all sliding real good. And what I'm going to do is I got a lot of tools I need to put in here, but I'm also going to empty out this top box over here and get all those tools put in there, because I'm going to give this to my little brother. He just bought his first house, so I want to get him at least a part of a toolbox that he can start using. And that was my dad's toolbox, so that's kind of cool too, that I can give that to him and let him have that in his home. So but for the time being, I'm going to take this for a ride, and I'll be back. What, Phil? Huh? What do you want? You hanging out in the garage with me? That's my dude right there. Huh? Well, I got the garage somewhat cleaned up. I got this table cleared off. I got this this top box all cleaned out for my little brother. I'm gonna give him that old Impact I got, but it's locked now. That thing's all cleaned out. I started getting this new box somewhat organized, getting all my tools in here and whatnot. So junk on the top still. Still gotta do some organizing. I'm such a mess, man. Like I do so much shit. I'm constantly running that I just, cleaning up is like the last thing that I worry about. So, but Corvette's running good. I got this quad that my buddy left here. I got it running. At least I think she'll run. Let me see here. Should run. Yeah. So that runs. But I don't know why he hasn't come to get it. I keep telling him, like, yo, that quad's done. Come pick it up. And it's just been left here, so I've been using it as my little runaround quad here at the property. For some reason, I'm collecting lawnmowers. I don't know, people just drop shit off here all the time, and this is my good lawn boy. That's why it's covered up. These two are, I don't know, I tried to get them both running. They're just junk. I don't even want to mess with them anymore. They've been sitting for so long. And then I got, this one came from my sister. Just stopped running on her. I tried to clean that carb out and everything, and still not, I can't get that thing to run right. I'll mess with that one still. That one's still a clean lawnmower. And then I got another one over here that my brother-in-law dropped off the other day. I don't know what the deal is with that one, but that one actually kind of looks decent. That looks like it's self-propelled. Oops, self-propelled, and a Briggs & Stratton motor on it. So it's kind of like my scrap pile. I got a scrapper guy that will come and grab all my metal and whatnot. A scrap wood pile. Got to burn all that. It's gonna take forever. There's that little guy that keeps putting paw prints on my car. And then I got this old girl here that just needs to get picked up. I mean, I've done everything I really can to it. I got it running. I got the interior all redone. I put all new seats in it, or all new carpet and everything in it. Cleaned out all the interior. And but it keeps getting water in it. I think the seals around the windshield are bad. So it keeps getting water in the footwell, and I have to keep sucking it out with the shop vac. I keep telling my buddy, come pick this thing up, man. Get it out of here. You know, do some work to it. Get the rest of the shit done that it needs. Get a bumper on it. Get some tires for it and whatnot. Get it registered. Get a plate on it. Get exhaust on it. Like, it's become a lawn ornament. And I don't necessarily enjoy that too much, so. But as you can see, everything back here is just a hot mess. I just picked these up the other day. I got 3 of them for $100. I needed some new bar stools up in my kitchen. And I don't know, I like them. They definitely got an old vibe to them, that's for sure. The lady said that they're from the 70s, that she's had them for like 30, 40 years herself, so. But that's the extra one. I really only needed 2, but she had all 3 for $100, so I just took them all. So we'll just add that to the collection of junk. I'm gonna take you up here too. I want to show you my new truck. I'm pretty happy with it. It's been running really good. I've been using the hell out of it. In fact, I like driving it more than most of my other stuff. So this is a 95 Chevy K2500. So it's a 3/4 ton. I put these wheels on it. I got a really good deal on these wheels off of Marketplace. The guy he just had them powder coated. I bought the center caps, but those are the HD wheels off of like the next generation Silverado. And then I picked up this contractor cap to do my work out of, and I'm happy with it. I mean, it's a little bit beat up. It's not the best one, but like a nice quality contractor cap, $1,500. I wasn't investing in that. I paid $150 for this thing, so I really can't complain about it. For $150, it works. The frame on this thing, pretty straight and clean. Nothing too bad. You know, even like behind these fender flares, the wheel well's still there. You can actually feel it. There might be a little bit of a hole there, but for the most part, it's all there. This is really the only body rust on it, which is more than common on these. Picked up these step bars, $35. Brand new Weston step bars off of a little site called MacBid. It's like a local Pittsburgh thing. They sell Amazon returns and whatnot. So the only thing I'm not too happy with, I mean, I got to paint it, which is fine. I'll slap a paint job on it. I could do that. I'm not too happy with this plow mount. They like welded it up into the frame, and I really can't get it out without really cutting and doing a lot of work. So I don't know. I'm gonna leave it there. I think what I'd like to do is try to find a way to get like a bull bar or something, or a push bar, and fab up my own little mounts off of that and just have that be the mount for the push bar. So I don't think that'll be hard to do. She runs good. I didn't have to do, I don't think, well, maybe I did, I don't know. All the gaskets were bad on it. So I did do, I was gonna do intake manifold gaskets and whatnot, and I figured, you know what, I might as well just do the head gaskets too. So it is missing the shroud around the column, but I gotta pick that up. But she fires up good. It has this weird little knock, like knock knock, right after you start it. Doesn't always do it. And it's got 240,000 miles on it, so I guess I'm all right with it. But like I said, it doesn't always do it. It does it. Sometimes it'll do a little knock knock. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes on a cold start it will. Sometimes on a warm start it will. Like it makes no sense. I personally, my buddy said he thinks it's in the bottom end, but I honestly think it's something to do with the starter, because the starter on this thing sounds a little weird whenever you try to crank it. So, but overall, she's running good. Had a lot of new parts on it when I got it. It looked like a new alternator, a newer AC compressor, a newer master cylinder. Has a new radiator in it. So I mean, it had a lot of good parts to it. And I did the intake. I did, like I said, head gaskets, intake manifold gaskets, exhaust. I rebuilt the TBI, the throttle body injection, and she purrs good. It does have this dual exhaust on it. It doesn't sound bad, but I don't know. I'd prefer it if it was just stock exhaust. I think the problem with me is it's a good truck. It's got good bones. It runs good, but it looks beat up because it needs painted. And the cap's not the most beautiful thing in the world. It's functional, but I feel like that exhaust makes it sound like something's wrong with it whenever it's really not. It's actually running really good. Maybe if it was all painted and looked really good, I wouldn't mind the exhaust as much, but I don't know. It's a good little truck. I'm happy with it, and I guess that's all that matters. I only paid $2,000 for it. It came out of Maryland, so that's why it was a little bit more rust free. I mean, it has rust on it, don't get me wrong, but coming out of Maryland, they don't use as much salt and stuff down there. I love this work truck front end. I just feel like it gives it like an old square body vibe, which is fun. And then up here, this car I got rid of already. I'm just waiting on the person to basically pick it up. I need to fix this. I'd like to do this before. It's one of my daughter's friends that's buying it. This is really the only spot of rust on this whole car. And they all rust there, man. If you see these old Nissans, they all rust out there. So I'd like to get that. I don't know. Just to clean it up somehow. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I got this car for free, this Nissan. That was my my sister-in-law's. And she gave it to us for my daughter for her first car. She drove it for a couple years. Then we just sold it to one of her friends. And I got this Trooper. I'll tell you something. Suzu Troopers, great trucks. I would have never thought it. It was never a main pick of mine. I was actually looking for a Mitsubishi Montero, and this came up, and I had to drive like 4 or 5 hours to get it. And I'll be honest with you, glad I did. It's been a really good truck. I've had it now a year and a half. Haven't had to do nothing to it. I put a starter in it, that's it. Nothing else. I mean, everything else has been good on it. Ice cold air conditioning, fires up every time. I've never had a problem with it. Tows a trailer good. Like, it's just been a really, really, really good truck. And I think my youngest is probably going to drive that, which is, I'm happy with that. I'm glad to keep it in the family and keep it going. So, and then this German I got for free off a buddy of mine. Wasn't starting, had some electrical issues. Took me a little while to figure it out and get it running, but Hot Rod's dad bods, we don't play around. We figure shit out. So I fixed it. And that's been on the road now, I don't know, not a year yet, maybe 7-8 months. And I'll be honest with you, love it. Love it. I'll tell you what I do now with all these cars. When I get these old high mileage cars, a great tip, if you go on Amazon, you can get all new shocks and struts relatively cheap, and then a whole front suspension kit, which I did on, I haven't done it on the Trooper. It hasn't needed it. I did it on the BMW. It was, I think, all 4 shocks and struts were like $200, and then a full front end rebuild kit from FCP Euro was like $200. And that included all new ball joints, all new tie rod ends, everything you need, all the control arm bushings, everything. So, and it just makes such a difference. I'm gonna do the same thing for the truck. I found out on the truck that the lower ball joints from the factory are riveted in, and these are still riveted in, which means these are original ball joints from 1995 with 240,000 miles on them, which is pretty impressive. So I'm going to do a whole front suspension kit on this. I'm going to do all new everything, upper control arms, both ball joints, the whole 9. I want this thing to ride really good. I want to get some use out of this truck. Like I said, I'm into it now with everything. Buying the truck, registering it, getting the wheels, getting the cap, all that. Probably $3,200, somewhere in that range, $3,500, which I think is just a steal. That includes registration and everything, so I feel like that's a good deal. That's all I got for this one. A little bit of spring cleaning in the fall, getting ready for winter, trying to take care of all these cars and keeping everything in line, trying to get this garage cleaned up so that I can actually use it properly. So until next time, I'll see you.